Have you seen this meme floating around Instagram recently? Or maybe, if you're a fan of the sitcom Friends, then you've likely seen Joey's advert for Ichiban lipstick for men.
Ichiban lipstick for men. Ichiban lipstick for men.
It is a dumb throwaway gag that most fans probably haven't thought about for over a decade or more. Or if you're from a generation that just never got into Friends, you may have never seen it. However, this gag ad is a very real reflection and jab at a phenomena that has been around for decades. Popular Western celebrities suddenly appearing in jarring, eclectic, or just downright strange Japanese advertisements. And to be honest, I also hadn't thought about this much until recently. Well, at least until more and more of these clips began to pop up on my Explore page on Instagram. And most of the time they would be entirely out of context with dumb, funny captions posted over the top of them. But it got me thinking, why are there so many adverts like this? And how long has this trend been going on for? And so today we're going to be having a look at the weird and wonderful world of Japandering. So as you probably noticed by my fashion, channel name, and content, I am a pretty big fan of Japanese media. I've made a lot of videos deep diving into various topics that often only have resources available in their native language of Japanese, meaning I sometimes have to go in blind. And learning Japanese is something that I've been trying to set my mind to. I have bought books, I have looked at online courses, but I've personally always struggled with linear learning styles and also staying engaged in those very key, important early stages. But thankfully today's video sponsor, Migaku, has been a wonderful addition to my day-to-day. Migaku is designed for both your phone and your PC and allows you to learn a language of your choice through the media that you already enjoy. And so if you're like me, that might be through things like anime and international cinema. And the great thing is Migaku works alongside popular streaming services such as Netflix and YouTube, meaning that whilst you're watching anime, you can actually better understand the sentence structure and how the words are being used. Then you can go on to save them as custom personal flashcards, which also help you with the native pronunciation of the word, as well as spaced repetition, meaning that you're reviewing the words at the right intervals rather than randomly. And you can also save the words in your Migaku dictionary to revisit them later too. I ended up using Migaku whilst researching for this video because, as you'll see, many of the adverts are without an English translation or can be a little bit hard to understand as a non-Japanese native speaker. And Migaku allowed me to better understand what was going on and, again, the context of which everything was being said. And over on my PC, or even just with the app on my phone, I can also take their courses which cater to all skill levels, such as Japanese Fundamentals and Kanji Academy, making their pre-built and my own custom flashcards easier to understand and use correctly. And on my phone, I can also use their photo translation feature, meaning that I can translate anything that I don't understand whilst on holiday or at home. I even tested it on my hard copy manga of Menhera-chan, which does not have an official English translation. Migaku is already making me more confident when it comes to my language ability for both holiday and work. And if you are interested in trying it yourself, you can use my link down below for 50% off a lifetime subscription, which includes all of their available languages, as well as an additional month on both their yearly and monthly subscription plans. Learning languages can be intimidating, but you can make it easier by integrating it into your everyday using Migaku. Now it's time to get back to the video. So firstly, what is Japandering? Well, according to tvtropes.com, Japandering is the amalgamation between the word Japan and pandering. I know, Captain Obvious, it's a standard video essayist trope of telling you what a very simple word means, but bear with me. And the reason for this word is because many Western celebrities, especially around the 70s, 80s, and 90s, would take on weird and quirky Japanese advertisements as a way of earning quick money, as a guaranteed paycheck, often under the assumption that these adverts would never make it outside of Japan, and therefore doing something that could be seen as embarrassing or weird wouldn't really affect their general brand image. It is a quick and easy cash grab that doesn't require their sincere endorsement and often has no bearing on their treatment back at home, because at the time, doing adverts wasn't actually something that big name celebrities really did. And so to be fair, you can understand that doing this pre-internet and smartphone era made a lot of sense. After all, how would somebody see an advert that was only localized to Japan if they're not in Japan? And according to that same website, many celebrities even had clauses within their contracts to state that these adverts were not to be shown outside of Japan, due to the possible backlash or loss of credibility back home in the West. But of course, this is very hard to guarantee in the age of TikTok, YouTube, and the internet. Not to mention the growing popularity of Japanese culture and fandom online too. It was only a matter of time that this lost media media wouldn't stay lost. And one of the earliest adverts that I can find that kind of fits this Japandering trope is a Suntory whiskey advert from 1974, which stars the one and only Sammy Davis Jr. In this advert, Sammy is casually pouring himself a whiskey whilst riffing and being musical organically towards the camera. There are no music or sound effects within the advert, and the rhythm of the advert is all provided by Sammy's own musical prowess. Overall, it's a fairly charming and infectious advert. It feels very nice and calm and casual, and it doesn't feel like it's trying too hard. And when going into the comments of this advert's re-upload on YouTube, there was actually a lot more context to be given. So apparently, during a performance at the Osaka World Expo, the young commercial director, Santa Sugiyama, desperately wanted to work with Sammy Davis Jr. to change the image of what whiskey was and could be. Because up until that point, whiskey had always kind of been seen as a more solitary and serious alcohol. It wasn't one of those drinks that inspired a more festive, casual or laid-back atmosphere. And so this young commercial director pursued an initially apprehensive Sammy, eventually getting him on board to participate in this advert to great success. And allegedly, and with what I could find, this advert even won the official commercial category at the Cannes Film Festival in 1974, cementing a lifelong friendship between this director and Sammy. Now admittedly, this advert is a bit of an outlier in the Japandering category, as although it is a Western star featuring in a Japanese advertisement, it doesn't fit the typical archetype that we're going to be covering. I mean, this advert was submitted and won a place at an international film festival after all. And fun fact, alcohol adverts ended up becoming a very popular and common form of Japandering amongst many Western musicians around the same time period. The one and only David Bowie did an advert for Crystal June Rock Sake in 1980. Sheena Easton did a whole geisha-inspired advert for what seems to be a bottle of Takara Sochu. Rick Astley did an advert for Mitsuya Cider, although he allegedly went on in a 1990s interview to state that it tasted bloody awful. And although it isn't booze, Michael Jackson even did his share of Japanese advertisements, admittedly due to his massive popularity internationally, including over in Asia, and he did an advertisement for a Suzuki scooter. But I know what you're thinking. What about the more outlandish Japanese advertisements? The really strange and crazy looking ones that you immediately think of when it comes to Western celebrities doing weird Japanese ads. Well, a very popular one is the Arenamine V commercials starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. I have been able to find multiple of these adverts featuring the very popular action hero. And quite often in these adverts, Arnie seems to making a fumble or a social faux pas, only to have some of this energy drink and be saved from the awful, awkward situation, transforming into this crazy and charismatic version of himself. I ended up asking for help over on Instagram for anyone who is a more native Japanese speaker to just clarify what is happening in one of these adverts. And a follower called Agatha told me that Arnie was being accused of being a pervert in one of these, getting called a chikan. Arnie then denies this, saying that they are wrong, and then goes on to drink the energy drink, and the situation seems to resolve itself. These particular adverts have become synonymous and very well known within the trope of Japandering, especially because these were released at the height of Arnie's popularity when it came to Western movies. As somebody who has a dad that loves action movies and sci-fi, I grew up on Arnie's movies, with Commando, Predator, and Total Recall being a couple of the ones I distinctly remember watching with my dad. And you best believe that Jingle All the Way is on every single Christmas at my family's home. And as expected, with these adverts eventually being uncovered and making their way to the internet, many Arnie fans had the burning question of why. He is and was a huge Hollywood star, many fans posting the adverts to Reddit in search of these answers. And when one of these adverts was posted in the r/interestingasfuck subreddit 4 years ago, a user actually atted Arnie's official Reddit account for some explanation. And funnily enough, the man himself was more than happy to show up and give some answers. Sorry, but I have to give it a shot. At user Gov Schwarzenegger, can you share with us what your process was to prepare for cinematic greatness like this? And is there an element of, fuck it, the money's good and I won't have to watch it at home involved as well?
Ha! I've talked about this on Reddit before, but there are a couple things going on. First, back then, stars never ever did commercials in the US because people look down on it. That has obviously changed now, and I love doing Super Bowl commercials. But then everybody did overseas commercials thinking we could make money without our US audiences seeing it. Obviously YouTube changed that, which cracks me up. Second, I loved filming these. You have to understand, my personality is over the top. I got to show off a little of that in my movies, but in these commercials, I got to live my motto. Too much is not enough. The closest thing I've had to that in movies was probably Killing Gunther, that almost no one saw, or Junior. So these were a fantastic time for me.
And honestly, honestly, I think it's really cool that Arnie enjoyed doing these commercials, as honestly, they are a lot of fun to watch, even if you can't understand the language. The cinematic greatness simply transcends language. Becoming the unofficial face of Japandering has not fazed Arnie in the least, and he even went on to do more recent Japanese adverts for brands like Koa-powered coffee. But of course, some other action heroes and movie stars have also done their time in Japanese commercials. This includes Bruce Willis in a 1999 commercial for petroleum, as well as a later commercial similar to Arnie for that same brand of powered coffee, a what seems to be 80s or 90s advert for crisps, starring Sylvester Stallone in a full tux, Harrison Ford promoting a Kirin brand of beer, as well as going on to do a 1992 advert for the Ford Honda Legend. And of course, we have the now highly memed advert for Parliament Blue, starring Charlie Sheen. And the memes from this footage do not disappoint, and I do agree with people that if I saw this on the television when I was a kid, I probably would have taken up smoking. But another personal favourite of mine has to be starring one of my favourite guys in Hollywood, Ben Stiller, in a 1990s advert for Kirin, advertising a still popular Chuhai brand. And honestly, again, it just reminds me of the Zoolander Merman commercial, like it really does. It is so funny and cheesy and camp. That's the thing I love about these adverts, is they are so unapologetically cheesy and camp. You just can't not like them. And hell, even beyond the 80s and 90s, and far deeper into the internet era of virality, big Western names have continued to do adverts in Japan. One interesting one is a SoftBank commercial directed by Wes Anderson and starring Brad Pitt. Paying homage to what I'm probably gonna butcher the pronunciation is Jacques Tati's La Vacations. I'm gonna have to... Paying homage to Jacques
Tati's.
We'll put the title on screen just to make it easier. This advert being done in one long take and featuring Wes Anderson's iconic visual style. And there's actually a second advert as part of that set, once again directed by Wes Anderson and starring Brad Pitt, but this time taking place at the beach. Although compared to the other advert, this one seems to be a bit more unknown, a bit more of a sleeper hit. Tommy Lee Jones has done many Japanese advertisements, including one where he is an alien dealing with day-to-day life and like daily tasks in Japan, all thanks to the power of one of my favorite coffee brands in Japan, Boss Coffee. I do recommend that if you do go to Japan, do try Boss Coffee because it is really good. I love a vending machine coffee. I'm a simple person, I'm a simple woman. I love a vending machine coffee. I wish we had them here. Hot bottles of coffee, I will say these adverts do feature some pretty cheesy visual effects, but I will give props to Tommy for his pretty well executed Japanese lines, at least from what I'm able to gauge. And of course, who can forget one of my favorite collabs of the century, Hatsune Miku, Hair Care, and Scarlett Johansson. This is such a weird, dumb and strange advert, and I am forever grateful that it was archived so massively onto the internet, because I'm personally still not sure why this was ever put to screen. I don't know why or who in that business room decided that Scarlett Johansson and Miku make sense, but I love that little like it's Scarlett Johansson's picture on the phone and she's like, "Hey Miku, it's Scarlett. Remember, being yourself is never a waste." Something like that. She says some cheesy shit, and I love it. It is the weirdest, most egregious, stupid use of a celebrity in an advert, and I love it. I love it.
Hi Miku, this is Scarlett. Being true to who you are makes all your dreams possible.
But of course, by the 2010s, and especially now, celebrities being the face and ambassador for various different brands and products is not only commonplace, but it's actually a huge marketing tactic. It is a rare day that a fragrance, clothing line, or makeup product doesn't have a celebrity attached to it. Celebrities doing adverts is no longer this social or career taboo that it used to be, meaning that we're not really getting that same level of Japandering that we used to. Those are now relics, slowly getting lost to time. But whilst researching for this video, looking at the modern comments on these old adverts, most find a lot of humor and enjoyment from the unapologetic cash grab and overacted weirdness that you can find in Japanese advertisements. Although a few isolated comments do still express this weird fatigue when it comes to celebrities, in their own words, selling out. But at the end of the day, just like with content creators here on YouTube, adverts pay the bills. And so I suppose in a modern day of being a celebrity, adverts still be paying them bills, especially in between movie releases. Zendaya is Shrek's daughter. Rihanna is Smurfette. Megan Thee Stallion uses NYX bronzing drops. The list goes on and on. But as always, let me know down below, what is your favorite weird advertisement? Whether it is Japandering or maybe something else. It could be from Japan, it could be from the UK, it could be anything. Please share the weirdest adverts, the most unsettling adverts that you've ever seen. But there was also this TV show that was, I think, on the BBC, and I think it must be lost media because I've tried to find it, but it was like 2 different versions of it. So there was a movies one and an adverts one, and it was hosted by David Walliams. Hasn't aged well, but it was hosted by David Walliams, and it was like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and it was him showcasing some of the weirdest archived advertisements, movies, things shown on television. So this was stuff that was like never broadcast since the original broadcast, and it was really, really good. It was like David Walliams Awfully Good Ads. It was called David Walliams Awfully Good Ads and David Walliams Awfully Good Movies. Those were the 2 things, and I don't know if they've ever made a hard copy of it. I don't know if they ever had a digital release or they've ever re-aired it. But I remember watching it, and I used to love rewatching it because they showed some of the weirdest Japanese adverts on it. And so I saw tons of these adverts before they were kind of put to YouTube, I suppose. And I've wanted to rewatch those 2 kind of TV, movie, documentary things ever since, but I can't find them. I think they might be lost media, but that's what they were called. They were David Walliams Awfully Good Ads and David Walliams Awfully Good Movies. And if anyone knows where to watch them, please let me know, because for as much as I don't like David Walliams, I would love to rewatch them because they had some crazy shit on there. And of course, as always as well, please tell me, what craft are you making? Everybody liked it when I leaned forward and looked down before. So like, what are we making over here? What are you making? Are you drawing? Are you doing crochet? Are you doing a craft? What are you doing? What are you doing? Tag me on an Instagram story. What are you doing right now while listening to this video? Are you doing the dishes? Are you doing a chore? What are you doing? And as always, I want to thank my beautiful patrons over on Patreon. Everything from the casual tier all the way to our Oshi tier, with our Oshi tier members being Nina Hopkins, Falky Gone Missing, Lucy, Shy Raw, Harakivo, Danny16, Sweet Misery, Meryl Lyram, The Galmar, X-Lace_Zale, Cielo Armonia, Neon Ferris Wheel, Corey Kitty, Shelby, Hive Angel, Onyx, Kira, Mooney, Icy Law, and Tadashi189. And as always as well, our beautiful Otaku tier patrons who are also on screen too. You can join the Patreon casual tier for less than a cup of coffee per month, directly support me, and get downloadable and ad-free viewing of all of my public content. But of course, for Otaku and Oshi tier members, you get behind the scenes content, completely new, brand new content, with some of my Japan vlogs recently being uploaded, including the Kanemata Festival, and also a little tea party vlog. And also coming up on the 23rd of June, I have an over 2-hour long reaction video to the recent goth slop that we've been seeing of goth women reacting to or blind dating guys. I have a whole reaction video on that coming out because I have a whole YouTube video planned on that topic as well coming out. So if you'd like the extra 2-hour long initial reaction, thoughts and commentary, that is going to be exclusive over on Patreon and will be available very, very soon. It's already scheduled up, so it'll be going live midday on the 23rd of June. And of course, all of the existing content that's there too. There are hours and hours worth of content, including room tours, collection tours, reaction videos, a bunch of stuff. But as always, the cheapest and easiest way of supporting me and what I do is by liking the video, commenting on the video, sharing the video, hyping the video using the little hype feature on the video, saving the video, sharing it to a friend, and of course hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon beside it to never miss an upload. Doing that not only helps me get closer to my goal of 350,000 subscribers before the end of the year, but it also just helps me get more visibility with people who might enjoy my content. Not to mention that I do also upload YouTube shorts pretty damn regularly, nearly every single day as well, so you can see short form content from me very, very often too, in between my big long uploads. Now as always, it is time for the end of the video outfit check and some of your amazing fan art, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! So firstly, as always, on the top of my head, I have my AC/DC rag headdress. I swear I am branching out into other headdresses, but this just suits the outfit best for today. And then this setup that I'm wearing is just from Honey Pepper. This is their re-release of the Heroine set. I ended up getting a smaller size because the size I had before was just too big. So I have sized down, but I think I probably could size down again actually in future, which is kind of nice, I guess. But this is their Heroine setup in black, and it It is really, really comfy. Again, I love Honey Pepper. I think they're a great independent brand. Highly recommend them. I have a bunch of stuff from them at this point. The quality is fantastic. And it also comes with a little kind of matching pair of bloomers too. And then on my wrist, I also have the official Needy Streamer Overload pop-up event kind of wristband. I don't know what it says on it, I'm not gonna lie, but it is black and it's from the pop-up, and I am a slave to capitalism, and also I am a giant Needy Streamer Overload fan, so I do kind of want to support it. I got to go there when I was in Japan, so I was like, oh, I need to buy everything that is exclusive here, and I did. But I was there the last day of the event, so there wasn't much left, but I did manage to get this. Thank you as always for the beautiful fan art, and I'll see you in the next video.